Most people understand that houses are built on stilts because of the common flooding that occurs on coastlines, but there is also the problem of erosion of the unsturdy soil leading to the destruction of traditional foundations. Flooding on coastlines can be caused by many environmental factors such as hurricanes or typhoons. Additionally, natural tidal patterns could cause occasional flooding, especially with the rising sea levels. These flooding disasters cause physical and monetary damage to coastal communities, which can be prevented with stilt houses. Join us as we explore the difficulty of building sturdy homes on unstable coastal subgrade.
A study done in South Louisiana showed that coastal areas are subject to erosion due to the weak strength properties of fine-grained soils in these areas. Coastal soil is weak in shear strength. As stated by Jacques-Pierre Boudreau in his thesis, the shear strength of soils is an important aspect in many foundation engineering problems, such as the bearing capacity of shallow foundations and piles. The high pore water pressure in the saturated soil increases the overall normal effective stress. This consequently lowers the overall shear strength. This, combined with the rising sea levels, leaves homes built in coastal towns subject to damage and flooding.
Coastlines can be very dangerous places to live. For one, there can be a lot of seismic activity on the coast, as many happen to fall on faults. This can lead to earthquakes and in turn tsunamis and liquefaction. The massive tsunami waves cause widespread destruction and flooding. Liquefaction causes the sand to liquefy due to increased pore water pressure, leading structures to sink or bob up and down. Hurricanes or typhoons also can inflict severe damage through strong winds and rapid rise in water level. Anything below the waterline can be destroyed or swept inland or out to sea. Erosion leads to many problems for coastal dwellers too. Shorelines are receding in many areas due to wave erosion. This leads to landslides and the submersion of dry land.
Different elevated foundations are suited better for different coastal environments. Open foundations allow floodwaters to flow freely through the foundation, making them the best overall option for building on coastlines. This type of foundation is what we will be focusing on in this video. The surface area for floodwaters to impact is greatly reduced by open foundations built on pilings. The deep-driven piles provide greatest resistance to coastal soils downfalls. There are even instances in which homes lasted through environmental events that exceeded what the foundation was originally built to withstand. It is important that the piles are driven deep enough into the sandy soil to adequately withstand coastal events.
There are two traditional open foundation types, which are deep and shallow. Deep foundations have pilings either driven in place by vibratory or drop hammers, placed in augered boreholes and backfilled, driven into purposefully small boreholes, or driven into the soil through a process called jetting. Jetting uses high-pressure water to cut a hole in the soil as the pile is driven down. These pilings can be made of wood, which is the most common, steel pipes for areas of more severe weather, precast concrete members, or other materials like fiber-reinforced polyester, but these are uncommon. Steel piles must only be installed by being driven into the ground. The piles for deep open foundations have no footers and are held in place through soil friction. Shallow open foundations are generally constructed of concrete or masonry piers on concrete footers. This style is only used in coastal areas with low erosion. The footers must be below the maximum anticipated scour or erosion depth because footer erosion can lead to rotation of the footings and thus damage or collapse the structure. It has also been shown that discrete footings have failed due to the exposure of buildings with the shallow open foundations to lateral loading.
As you can see, building on the coast is no easy feat, but elevating a home's foundation on driven piles highly increases the chances of a home withstanding coastal disasters. Coastal soil is not the ideal foundation, but with some engineering creativity, it can work.
I think that's enough.